been a fun day. It's always a fun day when I'm out exploring around Taiwan. Had a nice time. I can't tell you what I did. I should have had my camera running. Just so fun being here, you know. Wandering around, getting something to eat. What happened was, I asked the lady at the where I was having the Yofan if she'd ever been to the Painted Village. She said she'd never been there. But then the guy next to me chimed in and was asking me all about it. And of course, after a while they asked me, how long have I been in Taiwan? So I said, oh, I just got here. And they said, well, how come you speak Chinese so well? And I said, well, I don't really speak Chinese very well. And then they insisted, and then I said, well, I learned it from reading books and listening to podcasts. Then they thought I was really talented. I don't know why that's fun for me, but it is. I should have had the camera running for all that, because it's the funnest thing that happened to me today. We're down here at the harbor. As you can see, there's a couple of cruise ships in. There's actually a couple more further out in the harbor as well. I really like this town. I like the look of it. It's crazy and old. It's grimier than Tainan. The streets are narrower than Tainan too. Most of it's built on the side of a hill. Like some kind of thick soup sticking to the side of a bowl. That's very poetic. Like rice gruel. Yeah, it's a fun time. I had a few more touristy things that I wanted to do. But actually it's more fun not doing the touristy things. It's more fun doing the regular things. Anyway, that's my day in Keelung. It was a fun day. The city tends to look a lot like this. Straight up and down. And like this. Lots of cruise ships. Aside from the weather, I think if I lived in northern Taiwan, if I lived near Taipei, I'd probably want to live in this town. There's something about harbor towns that just are so appealing to me. Today we're somewhere very special. The harbor city of Keelung. Taiwan's second biggest and best harbor. And Keelung, it's a great city, a great old city with lots of history, with ports and forts and temples and tunnels, with mountains and caves and hills and lots of mold and mildew, because it's a wet city known as a rainy city. So far so good. I just got here. It's not raining. And Keelung's also a major cruise port, a favorite of cruisers. More than 300 cruise ships come here a year. It's a noisy city. It's always something in Taiwan. So we got lots to do. And I haven't been here for many years. Many years, like 35 years. So let's get started. If you live in Keelung, this is a kind of street you're going to enjoy. Oh my God, there's somebody coming down here on their motorcycle. So Keelung gets something in the range of 150 inches of rain a year. Translate that into feet or meters. That's a lot of rain. A lot of rain. And Keelung is also a lonely city. 41% of the households in Keelung are single occupancy dwellings. So, an old city, lots of rain, lots of single people, lots of cruise ships. Should be a fun day. Oh, and lots of history. So today we're going to browse. We're going to browse this town. There's so much to see, we can't see it all. We're not buying anything. I've learned how to browse from the Taiwanese. The Taiwanese love to browse, be it bookstores or night markets, stationery stores. Holy smokes. I could browse stationery stores all day in Taiwan. The Taiwanese, maybe the Japanese are better at stationery stores, but the Taiwanese certainly get the silver medal for that. They get the gold medal for browsing though. They can browse pop-up markets and anywhere. They're so good at it. You don't need a destination when you're in Taiwan. Just browse around. And of course food. You could browse food all day, graze your way through the day. Sit down on plastic stools or take it home in a bag. Browsing food is a pastime, a hobby. When I say mold and mildew, I mean just look at this wall. On the way here from Songshan through the valley that runs between Taipei to Keelung, it all looks like that. It's all wet and green with mildew. And on the train it was just me and some locals. And for some reason, a group of Japanese old ladies. I think there's probably some Japanese significance to this town. But, well, there is. We're going to talk about that later. I think browsing gets a bad reputation. It's lazy. It's aimless. You don't have a destination. If you don't have a destination, how do you know when you get there? Sometimes the journey is the destination. Look at this wall. If reincarnation is a thing and I come back, I want to come back as a plant in Keelung. I like browsing just to see where I'll end up. Kind of like surfing the internet in the early days. You go down a rabbit hole One thing about going down a rabbit hole, you never find a rabbit. Sometimes a gopher or two, but never a rabbit. Maybe they should be called gopher holes. It didn't take long before it started to rain. It's the lightest rain possible. One thing notable about Keelung is that they don't have U-bikes here. So this is turning out to be a long and uneventful walk, cutting through a tunnel. I'm going to take a bus back eventually to the train station or downtown, but I've chosen to come over here because there's a cluster of things that I want to see. A fort, a lighthouse, a port. And Keelung is Taiwan's second busiest seaport. It was back in 1984 the 7th busiest seaport in the world. But clearly those days are long gone. There are several tunnels that are built into the side of the mountain here in Keelung. Some of them are as old as the Qing dynasty, and others were built during the Japanese occupation, notably during World War II for protection. Right across from the Keelung Container Harbour terminal. This is what's referred to as the Fairy Cave. So behind me is Buddhist shrine and a fairy cave, and a historic site for the Qing dynasty. The French were here fighting the Qing, buried into the side of a mountain. So let's talk about the history of Keelung. Of course, it starts with the Aborigines who were here first, and then of course the Spanish were actually here around 1625 or so. They weren't here very long. They established a fort called San Salvador, and then about mid 1600s the Dutch were here. The Dutch were here for about 50 years, give or take, and that was the 1650s or so. Then much later the Qing dynasty was here, of course, and then the French were here during the French Sino War of the late 1800s, 1880, 1890, something around there. And the French weren't here very long, something less than a year, and they were trying to force open treaty ports in China, and I guess you could say that their battles in northern Taiwan were proxy battles for what they really wanted, which was access to China mainland. They got bogged down here in Keelung and in Danshui for about 8 months, and then I don't think they were successful. Then of course very quickly after that the Japanese got control of Taiwan and it was game over. And because of the proximity of Keelung to Japan, Japan in essence moved the capital north to Taipei, and Keelung was an important port for people and goods coming from and going to Japan. So a lot of history here. Everybody was here. Look at this, another tunnel built into the side of another mountain. They're everywhere here. There's another one. I suppose I better take a look. I can see some stairs inside that go up. Not going in there. It's been a long walk. Getting too old for this. So this is the Biwang fort. I probably said that wrong. First constructed probably during the Dutch and or the Spanish period. The Qing dynasty continued it. The French were here, but finally the Japanese were the ones who really fortified it and updated it. It's not what I expected in terms of being a fort. It's basically just fortifications on top of this hill. Out in the distance is Huping Island, and the reason the fort is here is to protect the Keelung Harbour. It was important during the Japanese-Russian War. Don't think it saw any battles. All along the coast there are fortifications like this. It took me half a day to get here walking, so we're not going to see the rest of them. Suffice to say, important for its historic value. Got a great vista of the ocean. Due north is Japan. Power plant and fortifications built into the side of the mountain. Over here there are stairs going up, probably a scenic lookout. Came this far, in for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well see the rest. Oh boy. It's a nice hike. All right, we're almost there. We're gonna go see the lighthouse. And after that, we're gonna lay down, have a little nap. Keelung and all the little villages that were train stops along the way here are all built onto the side of a mountain. The side of, it's basically a valley that runs through from Keelung over some kind of small mountain and then into Taipei. But it's very narrow. Lots of bridges. On the way here, also saw lots of containers, random spots. I'm on my way to the lighthouse. Look, another tunnel. You know, Keelung reminds me of Halifax. Not that I've been to Halifax anytime recently. Just has that working harbour, damp East Coast kind of feel to it. Is that fair? It's fair enough. There it is. I was actually expecting something bigger. That's what she said. All right, so that was the lighthouse. It was really pretty. It was really, really pretty, actually. Worth the walk. You know, I set out on days like this, and I have a few destinations in mind, but like I always say, it's not really about the destination, it's really about the journey. It's getting out and seeing things. And although I do have destinations, the destinations are not really the goal. The destinations are a reason to get out and do stuff like this instead of not doing stuff like this. It's basically making myself available to whatever might happen. I don't browse because I'm lost. I browse so I can notice where I am. Well, it was worth the trip. Chatted with a few people, walked more than 10,000 steps. Got out to enjoy parts of Taiwan I've never seen before. Walking around like this is a good hobby and a good habit. I like to cultivate good habits. Don't like to do too much of anything, but a little bit of everything. So we walked all the way here. We're gonna ride the bus back to the downtown Keelung, and there's some stuff to see near there. Look what I found. I'm not looking at my map, and I found something good. I found what could be I got to get across this one. I'm going against the tide. I found a temple. This could be the Miaokou Night Market in the daytime. I'll have to look on the map once I'm finished this walkie-talkie, but this is jam-packed full of people, and that's what I want to do. I want to be in a big crowd. I was going to go to a fishing harbor, but I got off the bus back at the train station in Keelung because I was hungry, and I saw how busy it was downtown, and I thought, oh yeah, I gotta come down here. This is what we live for. Crazy ass crowds. So, have a look around, see what we got to eat. Oh jeez. At least there's no motorcycles in the middle. Gruel fan. Hong Ching Tsai. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this giant temple here. This has got to be the Miaokou. The Miaokou Night Market, day market, market. We are cooking here. We are cooking. One thing that we can't capture is the wonderful smells. And I mean wonderful. It's all burnt and Shigua, Mugua Neonai. Never seen roasted peas before. Those smell good too. Man, everything smells good. There's a lineup for Gruel fan. Quail eggs. kind of sweet. Digua Bing. I've never seen Digua Bing before. The Digua. I'd like to try that. Go around here. This is Digua Bing 吗？
这个是地瓜饼。
地瓜饼。
对。
甜不甜？
不甜，就地瓜的味道，甜味而已。
好，可以啊。哦，可以买一个吗？
好。
我没有看过地瓜饼。我没有很标准。哦，有一点热。
谢谢。
谢谢你。地瓜饼。I said all my tones were wrong, and she said my Mandarin was good. Oh, look at it. Oh, it's burnt. Burnt to a crisp. Bing. Very burnt. Come on. Oh my God. Stuck to the paper. Good. That was the market. There's the Digua Bing. Alright, I can turn that off so I can eat. See you later. I live on what might be described as a nomadic diet. Wander around looking for food. A hunter-gatherer. I'm hunting for food and gathering information.
一碗汤而已，对不对？一碗肉跟米粉，拿2个饭。
哎，可以一个肉饭吗？
可以。
I like history, but I don't really care for nostalgia. I'm not one of these people that think that life was better back in the olden days. It wasn't. It was less convenient. It was more chaotic. It was more like this, actually. It was more like Keelung. Taipei used to be like Keelung back in the day. Can you imagine? It used to actually look a lot like this, too. Love these old buildings. It's been a fun day. It's always a fun day when I'm out exploring around Taiwan. Had a nice time. I can't tell you what I did. I should have had my camera running. It's just so fun being here, you know. wandering around, getting something to eat. What happened was, I asked the lady at the where I was having the Yofan if she'd ever been to the Painted Village. She said she'd never been there. But then the guy next to me chimed in and was asking me all about it. And of course, after a while, they asked me, how long have I been in Taiwan? So I said, oh, I just got here. And they said, well, how come you speak Chinese so well? And I said, well, I don't really speak Chinese very well. And then they insisted, and then I said, well, I learned it from reading books and listening to podcasts. Then they thought I was really talented. I don't know why that's fun for me, but it is. I should have had the camera running for all that, because it's the funnest thing that happened to me today. So we're down here at the harbor. As you can see, there's a couple of cruise ships in. There's actually a couple more further out in the harbor as well. I really like this town. I like the look of it. It's crazy and old. It's grimier than Tainan. The streets are narrower than Tainan too. Most of it's built on the side of a hill. Like some kind of thick soup sticking to the side of a bowl. That's very poetic. Like rice gruel. Yeah, it's a fun time. I had a few more touristy things that I wanted to do. But actually it's more fun not doing the touristy things. It's more fun doing the regular things. Anyway, that's my day in Keelung. It was a fun day. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.